Hello, everybody. My name is Samuel Higgs. I am the sports editor for the Alexander City Outlook, and I am here at Wind Creek State Park for day 3 of the St. Croix 2024 Bassmaster Open here at Lake Martin. So I will be joined by a guest, Mr. Hank Weldon of B.A.S.S, in a little bit. But before we get into that, I just want to say thank you to our sponsor, Extreme Power Sports in Opelika, for sponsoring this live stream here at Wind Creek State Park. If you need anything, motorcycles, dirt bikes, scooters, slingshots, ATVs, Extreme Power Sports will be able to help you out. Again, they're located in Opelika. But before I am joined by Mr. Weldon, just kind of want to go through exactly what's gone down, over the course of the past 2 days. Currently, at the moment, Will Davis Jr. is sitting in the lead with a total weight of 24 pounds and 9 ounces through 2 days. On day 1, he put himself pretty firmly in the lead, catching 5 fish for a total of 13 pounds. And then the second day, caught another 5 fish for 11 pounds and 9 ounces. But one guy that was able to I don't believe he wasn't in the top 10 whenever, day 1 completed. And we're talking about Josh Butler. I probably should have said his name first. But Josh Butler has risen up to the second spot overall. On day 1, he caught 5 fish and was unable to get into the double-digit mark. He finished day 1 with 9 pounds, 7 ounces. But on the second day, I think had the best day out of anybody on the lake so far. He caught a whopping 14 pounds and 5 ounces, which jumped him all the way up to the second spot. Some of the other fishers that we got in the top 10 are going to be Bobby Bakewell. He has 10 fish caught for a total of 22 pounds, 3 ounces. Byron Kennedy Jr., also with 10 fish, 22 pounds and 2 ounces. Paul Marks has 22 pounds through 2 days. Cody Meyer has 21 pounds and 14 ounces. He is tied with Yui Aokai. I'm sorry if I butchered that name, but they are tied right now with 21-14. And then we got Kyle Palmer coming in at 8th, Dakota Ebear coming in at 9th, and then at 10 we got Brady Vernon. But other than that, I'm pretty sure everybody understands the significance of Bassmaster Open coming to Lake Martin, especially after what transpired at Lake Hartwell in South Carolina. Obviously, they suffered some pretty significant damage from flooding thanks to Hurricane Helene, which basically sent Bassmaster into a bit of a predicament where they had to quickly get things going, because this is an extremely important tournament, and I'm pretty sure whenever I get Mr. Weldon to join us, he is going to explain that significance a little bit more. But this is a really big tournament. This is such a huge tournament. This isn't something that they could just cancel. It's not something that they could just delay, because fishermen, there's anglers' future on the line whenever it comes to the significance of this tournament. So it's a really big tournament, and we're seeing guys put up some really impressive days. On the first day, only 3 anglers were able to cross that 12-pound mark, but the rest of the people that were within the top 20 were able to get into the double digits. But for the most part, the thing that I have learned, especially after being here on day 1, is that this is going to be a game of ounces, and that's the thing that I think you really need to understand as far as what's at stake here. There's obviously similarities and differences between Lake Martin and Lake Hartwell, but one of the things that you have to consider is the difference in the tactics and everything like that. You have to think that these anglers have spent their time studying Lake Hartwell. They were checking depths. They were checking where the fish were going to be most populated. And you also got to consider all the weather factors that go into it. But to think that, this was a tournament that was originally supposed to be held at another lake, in a week, they find a new location, and all these fishermen have to completely throw out all the studying that they had done beforehand, and just kind of start from scratch and kind of figure out what they need to do to be successful out here on the lake. And that was, again, you know, whenever I was out here on day one, I was able to watch a little bit of the weigh-ins, and, you know, they talk to the anglers after they, you know, get their weights and everything of the nature. And you couldn't help but see, you know, a couple different reactions as far as the weigh-ins go. You know, some fishermen were like, I was able to catch a whole lot, but I wasn't able to get that big one. Then there were other guys that, you know, struggled to get some fish on the line. You know, it's definitely, you have to think like that first day had to have been, you know, just such an interesting experience for a majority of the anglers out there. And I can see that obviously in day two, a lot of them had better days. I mean, heck, we had a 14-pound day from Josh Butler. So, I mean, these guys were able to adjust on the fly and figure out what was necessary to ultimately come out on top and, you know, put up some better numbers. But I think I'm about to be joined by Mr. Weldon in a second. But again, oh, here we are, the man of the hour. We're live, so I was about to say we're ready for you. So basically, what I was just talking about is, you know, so I was here for day one of the Bassmaster Open, and one of the things that I already told you this. I'm not a fisherman. It's one thing that, you know, I'm getting used to ever since I started right. living in Alabama. But one of the things that I found very interesting, and you guys also did an article about it on the Bassmaster website, where this is a game of ounces.
Oh, absolutely.
And so, I mean, I was just talking to the live stream. It's just like, you had all this preparation for Lake Hartwell and you had to flip to Lake Martin. I guess kind of tell me, because you know better than I do, as far as the differences between the two, right. and what you've seen from some of the fishermen as far as the adjustment go.
One of the main differences is Lake Hartwell has the blueback herring. I mean, they're in Lake Martin too, but the blueback herring is a little more established, which is a very high protein bait fish for the fish. The fish are a little bit bigger on Hartwell, but as far as numbers of catch and frequencies of catching, there's no difference. As far as, like, you know, how the lake looks, very similar. Water clarity, all that. Hartwell's a little bit bigger. Martin is 44,000 acres, and I think Hartwell's around 65,000 acres, somewhere around there. So a little bit bigger, but as far as similarities with how they fish, a number of fish, they're very close to being compared to each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I gotcha. And so, I mean, I'm just looking at some of the totals from, you know, day one compared to day two. And, you know, day one, you know, 3 fishermen were able to get over 12 pounds. And then a majority of the top 20, they were able to get into double digits. But I'm looking at all the numbers from day two. I mean, we have Josh Butler, who came in with 14
biggest bag of the tournament.
That's what I'm saying. Right. And so, like, you're seeing a lot of these anglers, you know, able to get up these numbers. What did you see as far as, you know, the adjustments that they were able to make from day one to day two? So
that's kind of usual with these guys. They're so good. They learn something every day they're out there. I mean, you can see it on live today. And a lot of times, used to, old school, you always saw weights kind of drop on the second day and third day. But these new guys, and with the technology and equipment they have, they usually gain weight as it's going along. As you can see, you know, we had the largest bag caught on day 2, and we'll see if that gets beat today.
No, absolutely. And so I guess one of the things that, you know, I find very interesting about the tournament is just the high stakes that are involved in this tournament. And I don't know if many of the people that know the tournament's going on understand how high of stakes are at play. So I wonder if you could explain to me and explain to everybody, you know, what's at stake.
And especially this one. This is number 9, the final event of a 9-event season. Anglers are vying for Elite Series berths, which we were able to lock all those in yesterday. But it is a season-long race. And, I mean, just to give you kind of perspective, we started out first week of February in southern Florida, in Clewiston, Florida, on the shores of Lake Okeechobee. We've been all the way to upstate Minnesota and, you know, in various spots between there, Michigan, Wisconsin, South Carolina, Oklahoma, Arkansas. I'm trying to think if I missed any there, and then Alabama twice. And you know, it's a long, grueling run, and for these guys, this is the end of the road, and there's 9 very happy people yesterday, and maybe a few more, today. If Will Davis wins, he will. He's already qualified for the Classic, so that would extend the berth to the Elite Series. And same thing for Josh Butler. He won at Logan Martin earlier this year, but. If Bobby Bakewell wins, he punches his ticket to the Classic. So a lot on the line, and then we'll kind of shut it down for the off season and regroup and do it all again starting next year.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And so I also want to. I don't think people understand, all the work that you had to do to make sure that you guys were able to get this tournament going. I know, although you had the adjustment period, or the period where a week where you had to flip it from Lake Hartwell to Lake Martin. So I know talking to you talked to Brett Pritchard, and you guys were able to quickly get things going. I was just wondering if you could, again, I know I already know the story, but for everybody else, tell the story.
No, it's great. We certainly, want to keep the folks over in South Carolina, the ones affected by Helene, in our thoughts and prayers. But, that was the basis, the genesis of why we moved, obviously, and it wasn't necessarily that Hartwell was torn up. It was more of the supply chain was limited. You've seen these guys. They're in the community. A bass boat takes 55 gallons of fuel, and they'll burn through that in a day, right? So if we put 200 boats times 55 times 5, we're going to eat up a lot of fuel. We're going to eat up a lot of food and eat up a lot of hotel rooms. And the community just didn't need that. They didn't need, us coming in and taking away valuable resources that were needed by people who have been affected. So that was the genesis of it. And then we started looking, and based like what we talked about, Lake Martin was kind of one of the closest lakes compared to Hartwell. Because we wanted to keep it consistent. And this was the Monday before official practice began. Official practice started that next Saturday, so we had to do something quickly. So we picked up the phone, called Brett Pritchard. I've known Brett for years. He turned around and called Scott Hardy, a council person, a councilman in Alex City, who turned around and got a hold of Sandra Fuller and Mayor Woody Baird, and we got the ball rolling. And by that afternoon, we were flipped, announced, and ready to go. It was one of those things. We got it locked, but then we had to figure out the other details. But me being originally from Wetumpka, I was very familiar with the place, so knew what we could do, how we had to set up, and all that stuff. So that was one thing that helped us with those logistics. But huge shout out to them. Can't thank them enough for committing to us very, very quickly. And not something they necessarily have budgeted, planned, or any of that, but it's all worked out well. And Kylie, it's beautiful again today. It's fantastic.
I was just about to say, we had the unfortunate circumstances on Friday where the iPad overheated, and I was so surprised because it was like a good mid-70 day, and I was like, this is coming out of nowhere. But you brought it up, because I am just so curious. I love learning about all this, everything fishing that I have, so far. Kind of, I guess, tell me what some of the anglers are taking into account, especially, getting adjusted to Lake Martin, what the factor of weather plays into it. I remember when I talked to Mr. Compton Gio Compton on Friday, he told me that, the wooden docks played a difference. Just tell me what, the anglers are taking into account to get some success going.
They're just so good. Honestly, I'm not good enough to be able to answer that question. They can pattern and understand what high pressure does, what falling water does. Lake Martin, again, it was, I think, almost full pool, which is unusual this time of year, but all that rain we've had. But how that affects the fishing, and their electronics is. They're just really good at figuring it out, and it's just impressive to watch them and what they do.
No, absolutely. And you mentioned it earlier as far as the 9 anglers that were able to punch their ticket. I was just wondering if you could, let us know who those 9 anglers are, and then especially also where, people can find information if they want to continue
it's
to
all
watch
on Bassmaster.com, but we've got our Angler of the Year, Easton Fothergill, who is a graduated Montevallo University angler, so congratulations to him on a lot of that. He's going to end up winning over $200,000 after it's all said and done from this year. Second place, Cody Meyer, who's in the top 10.
Mhm.
Here, let me see if I can pull it up.
I was about to say,
pull it all up.
we got them at 6 right
I know most of them from memory, but I will probably miss
Forget a
few.
name. Yeah, it
That's
always seems to
right.
happen. Yeah.
Hang tight. Let me see here. Where are we? What's going on here?
But I guess another thing I wanted to ask you was I noticed it on Friday, just the Japanese fishermen that were
Yep,
that
a
were
lot.
yeah.
That's right.
I was about to say, is that?
That's
I mean, for the most part, whenever I talked to Gio Compton, he let me know that a lot of these fishermen were from
Right.
similar areas. I guess kind of. I just find it very interesting as far as getting people from out of the country
Yeah, I mean,
involved.
usually it's 36 states. That's what we average.
Mhm.
4 foreign countries. We have anglers from Canada. Evan Kung's another angler who punched his ticket to the Elite Series. Mexico. We've had people from Italy and South Africa and Zimbabwe and those sorts of places. But yeah, I mean, the folks who got in, I'm looking right now, Easton Fothergill, Cody Meyer, Tucker Smith, former Auburn angler.
Yes.
He's a 3-time high school national champion, college national champion, college team of the year, which is like angler of the year,
Yeah.
but for college. So very, a lot of accolades to his name and an Auburn angler. So I know the folks watching online can relate to that.
Absolutely.
Paul Marks, he's from Georgia. Mill Wagner, also from Georgia. Mill fished for Ole Miss. Give you guys a kind of a lay of the land there. Andrew Loberg, 6th place. He's a former Chico State angler. That's all the way out in California. Now he lives in Grant, Alabama, but he is originally from California. Dakota Ebear, who's inside the top 10 today fishing,
Yes.
from Texas, fished for Tarleton State. Again, a great angler. Bo Browning, who made a big move yesterday, is actually Easton's roommate. Bo's from Arkansas,
okay.
but he goes to Montevallo as well.
Gotcha.
So they probably have fished here a few times. And then top 9, Evan Kung from Canada. So and just missing it, fishing his heart out, Matt Adams, and he's from Oxford, Alabama, so another Alabamian. So yeah, it's awesome. So,
but I mean, I think we have to. It's the last day. It's day 3. I also don't gotta take it.
nah, we're good. We're good.
I gotcha.
So.
But so
Yeah.
it's the final day.
Yeah.
Just kind of want to know what
Right.
you expect from this last day and what you expect to see before I'll let you go.
Got some big fish. Bobby Bakewell caught a big one on a buzzbait earlier this morning. That was awesome.
Yeah.
So he's making a move, looking like he may win the tournament. But I don't know. Josh Butler maybe too. So it's hard to say. But it's going to come down to the wire. If you're local, come out. So we're going to be presenting our Elite Series qualifiers with trophies. We're going to give away $110,000 just to the Elite Series Angler of the Year today. So it's going to be awesome. But yeah, man, we got to go get ready and follow along on Bassmaster.com.
Yeah.
Should be awesome.
Absolutely.
And again, just huge shout out to Alex City. Awesome place to call home. Love it here. Not my home, but I love coming here. I live in Vestavia. But yeah, it's fun, and love Lake Martin, and I'm sure we'll be back. And just can't thank Sandra, Mayor Woody, and all the folks. They've done a great job. So have you, Samuel. I appreciate it. Man.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Well, I appreciate
Awesome,
it.
man.
Thank
Appreciate
you for
it. Yep.
hopping on.
Yep,
We're
absolutely.
gonna take a little break, but really appreciate it. Good luck today.
Good deal.
We'll probably catch you MCing up there talking to all the fishermen. All right, thank you. But yeah, we're gonna be right back. We're gonna talk about some of the other fishermen. Really appreciate Hank for hopping on for a little bit, but again, I want to thank our sponsors. I put it up a little bit earlier, but just want to say extreme thank you to extreme thank you to Extreme Power Sports in Opelika. Again, if you're looking to purchase yourself a motorcycle, a dirt bike, scooter, one of those slingshot things, those slingshot things are sick. I'll see those on the road every once in a while and I'll get a little bit jealous. But ATVs, anything that you could possibly need, you could scan that QR code. They should have somebody that will be able to help you out. But other than that, I'm going to take a little bit of a break and then talk a little bit more about the bass tournament that is going on currently at Lake Martin. Should be about 30 seconds. Unfortunately, it's not like Inside the Lines where I have a nice little commercial break. But again, Thank you to Extreme Power Sports. Big thank you to Hank Weldon for hopping on for a little bit. I really appreciate him taking the time out of his busy schedule to talk to me and just let me know about everything that's going on. But other than that, I'll be right back. Alrighty, we are back from a little break. I say we, but I like to think that everybody is here along on the journey with me. But I am here currently at Win Creek State Park. Jeez, I'm struggling a little bit this morning. It was after that long Friday that we had last night. But it is day 3 of the 2024 St. Croix Bassmaster Open. Weigh-ins are going to be starting within, they're going to be starting. We got a live update on the Bassmaster.com website. Weigh-ins are going to be starting in 21 minutes. So if you guys are interested to see exactly what's going to go down, I mean, like Hank said, they got some things that they're going to announce, some people that are going to be really happy and some people that are going to be winning quite a bit of money. But yeah, no, he brought it up as far as, what Josh Butler was able to do yesterday. He had the biggest day on day 2. He had the biggest overall performance across the entire board. But you gotta also think that it's the size pool has been cut down just a little bit to the top 10 anglers. So right now the previous 10 that I named are the top 10 fishers that are competing right now in Championship Saturday. Again, weigh-ins are about to commence in just about 20 minutes. So I highly recommend anybody that is not watching any football right now. I know football should be starting as far as Auburn. Is Auburn playing right now? I know Alabama's playing right now. But yeah, if you guys have any time and want to come see some of these fishermen, come and see everything that they got going on here at Lake Martin here in Alexander City, I highly recommend to do it. I don't know if you guys can see it behind me. There's the stage. Oh, wrong hand. There's the stage behind me. That's where, fishermen are going to be pulling up. I got the boat ramps right next to me. Everybody should be coming in in just a little bit, and they will be doing weigh-ins. Let's get some most recent updates as far as what people have been able to catch today. It looks like Bobby Bakewell is currently in the lead as of right now. From what we're seeing, it's looking like he has 5 for a total weight of 11 pounds and 12 ounces, but we obviously will not get that confirmed until, obviously the weigh-ins, on day 1, it looked like Dakota E-Bear was going to be the top finisher of the day, but then Will Davis Jr., was able to come in with the biggest bag of the day and the biggest catch of the day. I think I should also highlight the fact who has the biggest catch on Lake Martin so far. That's going to go to Chris Whitston, who had caught a fish 3 pounds and 11 ounces. That's a beauty. But currently, Will Davis Jr. is sitting up in first place, Josh Butler in second place, Bobby Bakewell in third place, Byron Kennedy Jr. in fourth, Paul Marks in fifth, Cody Myers in sixth, Yui Akoi. I apologize to his family for pronouncing his name wrong. Kyle Palmer, Dakota E-Bear, and Brady Vernon. Those guys are all in the top 10. Those are all the guys that are competing right now. But as far as today, it's looking, Josh Butler is sitting himself. It looks like he's sitting at second right now with his latest catch coming just a little bit ago at 145. But one of the things that I found very interesting, I mentioned it whenever Hank was on. I am not a fisherman. I am not a fisherman in the slightest. I am quite inexperienced when it comes to anything fishing. I haven't been fishing since I was 6 or 7 years old, maybe even 4 or 5 years old. But one of the things I found very interesting, whenever I was doing all the research that I possibly can for the tournament, is how crucial that early morning, how crucial those like first 2 hours are going to be of it. These anglers are getting up bright and early every single morning to get out and get started as soon as they possibly can. And it's just, I find it, obviously, like I said, I'm not a pro when it comes to anything like it, but I just find it really interesting how crucial those first 2 hours are. But from what it looks like, Cody Myers got his most recent catch at 150. Brady Vernon got his at 144. So, I mean, definitely going to be very interesting to see what the official weigh-ins are going to be like today. And it's just going to be a great time here at Lake Martin. I'm excited to watch a little bit of the weigh-ins, and we got some. I know everybody's probably sitting at home watching some college football right now, but I mean, if you're close to the Lake Martin area, I don't see why you can't come out here and support all these anglers and support the greatness that is Bassmaster and what it's bringing to Alex City. I think everything that needed to be said has been said. Again, please, if you are in the area, catch yourself with a little bit of time. Please make sure to come out and come for weigh-ins at 2:30. That'll be in the next 16 minutes. But other than that, I, again, really want to send a thank you to Extreme Power Sports in Opelika for sponsoring this live stream. And I also want to apologize for Friday. We had the live stream going. We probably streamed for a good 8 seconds before the iPad, overheated and kind of ruined everything that we had going on. I had a great conversation with Gio Compton. He told me a lot, and I appreciate him for spending his busy Friday with me. Sorry about the live stream again on Thursday, not Friday. Friday we had a bunch of high school football going on, but no, I apologize for Thursday. But again, thank you to we got the music playing. I think that might be playing me out, but really want to say thank you to Extreme Power Sports for sponsoring this. Again, if you're looking to purchase a motorcycle, dirt bike, scooter, slingshot, ATV, anything you could possibly need, you could scan that QR code that I have up on screen. But other than that, I appreciate Extreme Power Sports. I appreciate Bassmaster. I appreciate Mr. Hank Weldon for sitting down. And again, make sure you guys come out. My name has been Samuel Higgs. I'm the sports editor for the Alexander City Outlook, and I'm here at Wind Creek State Park. So if you guys catch yourself with some free time, come out here. Thank you guys. Bye.